On this final Saturday in August, Baseball Night in America brings us to one of the great baseball towns, St. Louis, Missouri. Tonight, the first place Cardinals, winners of 10 of their last 13, host the defending champion Atlanta Braves. The updated playoff picture entering today. Well, since June 1st, the Braves have the best record in baseball. They're chasing the Mets right now, 2 games behind New York. The Cardinals, meanwhile, they had been chasing the Brewers nearly all season. They've been piping hot. They've won 10 of their last 13, and right now the Redbirds sit atop the Central, a 6-game cushion. We're thrilled to have you with us, Aaron Goldsmith, alongside the Hall of Famer and former Cardinals legend, John Smoltz. And John, you look at these two teams right now, 2 of the premier teams in baseball.
Yeah, this is a great series, and it's another series that the Cardinals can kind of gauge themselves. They swept the Yankees, and since they swept the Yankees, they've been a different team. You saw the standing. And since losing 4 out of 5 to the Mets, the Braves have been a different team. Going to be a great weekend, and another way to gauge yourself against 2 of the best.
Speaking of the Atlanta Braves, they win everywhere. They win on the road, they win at home, and speaking of the road, they won last night. John, they've won 10 consecutive games away from Atlanta.
It really is hard to imagine these kind of streaks that the Braves have gone on, but they've been timely at best, because just when the Mets looked like they were going to run away, they'd go on this stretch, and that 10-0 road record, that's unmatched. That's hard to do in the big leagues. I know that some of the teams are down, but that's difficult to do. It's a great product of a team that won the World Series and has a chance to go back and do it again.
All right, John, we were here in St. Louis at the start of the month when the Yankees were in town, and everybody was talking about Paul Goldschmidt, the Cardinals first baseman, and for good reason, claiming him to be the National League MVP for all the obvious numerical reasons. And now, as we enter tonight, everybody's talking about Paul Goldschmidt, possibly a Triple Crown winner.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been a weapon, and a weapon their offense needed, because really the identity of the Cardinals offense was missing the last couple years. Well, it's not missing anymore, because Paul Goldschmidt and Arenado in the middle of that lineup, they are feared, they have power, they hit for average. He can even run as a big man, and his defense is second to none. So the Cardinals are in a great place offensively right now, and they're hoping that the big guys continue their carrying the load, because that's what's going to take them into the postseason. These are the numbers you're talking about of why he's going to win the MVP.
Could Goldschmidt be the National League's first Triple Crown Award winner since 1937? Another Cardinal, Joe Medwick, took it home that year. Well, Jordan Montgomery has been nearly untouchable since coming over at the deadline from New York to St. Louis. His last start, the best of his career. He faced 1 over the minimum. His first career complete game shutout against the Chicago Cubs. He'll be taking the mound when we come back. It's Baseball Night in America. 2 of the great teams in baseball as we speak right now. The Atlanta Braves and the St. Louis Cardinals coming up on Fox. Not have been a player more shocked to be dealt at the deadline than this man, Jordan Montgomery. 4 starts with the Cardinals, John. It has gone better than anybody could have expected.
Yeah, that's a dream scenario when you get traded from one team to the next, and that numbers right there speak for itself. Throwing strikes with confidence, fastball, sinker, changeup, curveball. He's got it all working right now, and there's the breakdown. You can't really sit on anything, and when he's throwing strikes, he's going to give up a lot of ground balls, and his defense is working really, really well behind him.
Now for more on Jordan Montgomery, we say hello to Ken Rosenthal. Kenny?
Aaron, the biggest difference you're going to see in Jordan Montgomery tonight is an increased use of his 4-seam fastball. With the Yankees this season, he threw the pitch only 8.5% of the time. With the Cardinals, that number is up to 30%. Montgomery told me, I've got a good fastball. They trust me here. The Yankees didn't. They didn't want me throwing fastballs. Strong words, and he's backing it up. With the Yankees, opponents hit .357 off his 4-seamer. With the Cardinals, that average is .097.
That's significant change. It has made a big difference for Jordan Montgomery. He'll be facing a very aggressive Braves starting lineup. Dansby Swanson is at the top of the order. Ronald Acuna Jr. getting a night off. Olsen, Riley, Darno, Contreras, 17 home runs. A catcher DHing tonight. Von Grissom and Michael Harris II, 2 outstanding young players. Grossman comes over from Detroit at the deadline, and some extra help defensively. Guillermo Heredia getting the start for Brian Snitker, batting 9th in right field. And Swanson gets set to lead us off here tonight. Montgomery ready to go. And Swanson right away fouls off the first pitch for strike one.
Yeah, Swanson's been batting in the second spot and really lighting it up lately, and he gets in the leadoff spot in the first pitch. He falls off his leg. I'm sure he's like, great.
Well, for Brian Snitker, his lineup is as deep as any in the game. Third in baseball in runs per game, second in slugging, second in home runs. 11 runs last night for Atlanta without a home run.
Look for this matchup. The changeup has been something that Swanson's had a hard time with, and a good changeup out of Montgomery. I don't know how many he'll want to show him early. You typically will save that pitch later in the game to get a guy out in a scoring situation.
Now the curveball has been a great swing and miss pitch this year for Montgomery.
It's got great late break, and see how it crossed the strike zone, and that's what you want to do when you want the hitter to see the ball in the strike zone but then end up out of the strike zone. That's the quality break that Montgomery possesses.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Swanson.
I always find it interesting when you go and dig the data and go, okay, you know, Swanson swings at the ball up a lot. Well, Montgomery doesn't pitch up a lot. You saw right there with 2 strikes. We'll just see how effective he can be getting the ball up when he needs to.
Late skip off Edmonds' glove into left field. That was hit hard by Swanson and bobbled by Dickerson, and Swanson takes second base on the air. Now, these are 2 really good defensive teams, but a miscue right away in the outfield for the Cardinals.
Well, Montgomery's going to cut a fastball inside, and it didn't come back to where he wanted to, and you said it. Swanson absolutely tremendous topspin because he hit that ball so hard and then took the extra base on a team that doesn't give up many extra bases.
And normally we see O'Neill in left field, but O'Neill getting the start tonight in center. Corey Dickerson starting in left. As Olsen takes inside for ball 1.
Matt Olson again moving up. Everybody moving up when Acuna's not in the lineup. Matt Olson's good against lefties down.
Olsen last night connected on his 40th double of the season. Since the start of last year, he leads all of baseball in extra base hits. Part of the mass exodus out of Oakland. Former A's first baseman, Gold Glover, born in Atlanta, first-year Brave, an 8-year extension.
Yeah, he's been streaky on the year, but he's delivered in that power numbers you're talking about. Unique batting style. I say it every single time, and there's the numbers since June 1st. You feels like you could climb the ladder and pitch him up. Well, you know, he's kind of crushed that pitch. You got to go higher than high or lower than low, and he's done a nice job against left-handers on non-fastballs, being able to hit that pitch for power.
Montgomery works ahead 1-2 to Olsen. On the ground out to Nolan Gorman, tonight's second baseman for the Cardinals. 1 out as Swanson moves into third. Well, I mentioned a rare error for the Cardinals defense. Fewest errors in baseball. Dickerson in left field, O'Neill in center, Lars Nootbaar. A couple of outfield assists last night. Well, nobody's better at third than Nolan Arenado. Edmund winning a Gold Glove last year. He was at second base and shortstop tonight. Gorman and Goldschmidt on the right side. Kisner getting the start behind home. Molina a night off. Cardinals are happy to see Nolan Arenado back. Missed the last couple of games after the birth of a child. You talk about defense on the corners. It's hard to do much better than Arenado and Goldschmidt. Swinging strike 1 to Austin Riley.
Well, there's the changeup. He broke it out. Man on scoring position, less than 2 outs. Of course, that he's trying to do his best to prevent Riley from driving in the run. And Riley's been pretty good going the other way and off breaking balls against left-handed hitters. But that changeup really fooled him.
Oh, missing a bit high.
Can I just say, can we start something, as man on second, nobody out, and Olsen got a ground ball to right field, right to second baseman, and got the runner over to third. We've got to come up with a way and a system to reward that. Like a point system. If they score the run right here, he should get credit for that.
Instead, a backhand by Gorman. That keeps Swanson anchored over at third. 2 outs. You want a productive out.
You want a productive
start
out
system.
Yeah, absolutely. You move up a runner into scoring position via fly ball or ground ball. It's a productive out.
Because tell us how that feels from the pitcher's standpoint.
Well, I mean, now unfortunately Riley put it in play, but they were kind of drawn in. But as a pitcher now, there's more stress, right? You got a runner on third, and you got to deal with a hot lineup, and you can't get a pass ball. There's a lot more stress and pressure on your defense. So far, didn't pay off, but it's still a productive out.
Well, maybe you start something tonight.
I'm starting it.
I would have suggested coming up with a name first. Or we're going to workshop this tonight.
We'll work it. We're going to workshop this tonight and come up with a final result after the 9th inning is complete, or the top of the 9th. Because if the 9th inning is complete, no one's going to hear us.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to bring that up, but you're a TV pro. Travis d'Arnaud, the catcher, batting cleanup. All-star this year for the first time, a former Silver Slugger Award winner. 1 ball and 1 strike. We'll be joined by Matt Holliday in the booth later.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Maybe he'll have an idea.
Oh, I'm sure he will, and I'm sure he'll like it too. There's no doubt about that.
He'd probably say, I would just hit it over the fence, though.
Yeah, it's true, but still be a productive at that.
On the ground, this finds Edman. Sure-handed shortstop. Makes the throw. That leadoff single in the air does no harm to Montgomery and the Cardinals. We go to the bottom of the first. Charlie Morton, old reliable, taking the mound for the 25th time this year. Lars Nootbaar's having a fantastic month. He's been batting leadoff recently against right-handers. That's where he is today. Donovan DHs. Meanwhile, these two guys might finish first, second in the MVP vote in the National League. Goldschmidt and Arenado. Dickerson fumbled by O'Neill. The youngster at second base, Nolan Gorman, plenty of pop. Andrew Kisner catches. He bats 8th, and Tommy Edman bats 9th. Charlie Morton is up on the mound. 38 years old. Twice a World Series champion, is making his first start this year against St. Louis.
Yeah, he's starting to smell the finish line. An old cagey veteran who has dominated in the postseason. Of course, last postseason got hurt. But here's what you're going to see. Curveball is his primary pitch. Follow that fastball, and he'll mix it up with the other 3 at an even percentage.
And he can really spin it. Starts off with the first pitch fastball on the outer black to Nootbaar, who fouls it away.
And the key against this Cardinal lineup, especially the top 4 hitters, they've been doing a good job putting the ball in play. And now Charlie Morton can strike out a bunch of guys with that breaking ball, but he has to have that fastball command first to be able to spin it.
And there it is, taken for a strike.
It's one of the unique arm angle breaking balls. It's not the one that goes top to bottom, but it looks like it pops out of his hand, is going to stay up and comes at the top of the zone. And he can bounce them as well once he's established a low fastball. You're going to see a lower 3/4, taller guy, and the way he throws this pitch, watch how it pops out of his hand. See right there, that one he can recognize the hitter that's going to be lower, but the other one was up, and he had to take it.
Kind of an emergency hack that time from Nootbaar. He spoils the curveball, still ball and 2 strikes. Now Morton has been hot back-to-back double-digit strikeout games. He struck out 12 Mets and then 11 Astros, his former team. Having a fantastic month of August. The 1-2. Nootbaar sends his high out to left center field. Robbie Grossman, he makes the catch. out number 1. But you can make a clear line of demarcation this year for Charlie Morton. His first dozen starts, John, his last 12. I mean, the numbers are night and day. The ERA, the opposing average, and the strikeout rate. He's striking out a third of the batters he's faced his last 12 starts.
He's connected with his body again. And as an older pitcher, you go to spring training. It was short spring trainings, coming off that stress fracture foot. And all these things have an accumulative effect. And as he's gotten in the groove, which you saw in the numbers the last 12, man, it looks like the ball's coming out of his hand and tremendous release point consistency.
We saw Rick Kranitz, their pitching coach for the Braves. We talked with Brian Snitker before the game about Morton, and he said that when he and Kranitz were watching Morton his first 12 starts, the ball was coming out well, the velocity was there, the spin was there, the results were not. They believed it would be a matter of time, and it certainly has panned out that way in favor of Morton and the Braves.
Any foot injury takes some time for a pitcher to have confidence he can drive or land off the injured foot. And when you have that injury and you get back and you rehab, you feel like you're driving, but you're probably just setting the foot down because of just the subconscious nature of what happened to you when you broke your foot. And I think he's now in that healed position.
Donovan takes outside. Ball on 2 strikes. Donovan can play all over the place. One of the most versatile players in the game. Olsen, one of the best at first defensively, handles that smoothly. Well, if you happen to forget, Charlie Morton certainly doesn't. We go back to game 1 of the World Series last year. Yuli Gurriel right off of Charlie Morton's leg. And then he stays in there, and you can tell right away this is not good. And that was it for Charlie Morton. A broken leg. He retires the first 2, now facing one of the most dangerous hitters in the game, Paul Goldschmidt. Oh. Now Goldschmidt right now leading all of baseball in average and on base. When you talk to Triple Crown categories, tied in ribbies with Pete Alonso of the Mets, and second in home runs behind Kyle Schwarber.
Well, he's obviously strong. I mean, he's a big, strong right-handed hitter, and the way that he has that bat, the timing of his mechanics when they're on, and they have been on most of the year, it's a beautiful thing to watch because he can go gap to gap, and he has power all over the field. He has that little kind of choked up, and he just is connected with the way that he gets his hands in the barrel of the bat to the zone, and that's the key. I think a guy could time 110-mile-an-hour fastball if you throw him enough. And you see his foot tap is just real simple, and it's down, but then the hand where his bat starts to where he gets it loaded, you wouldn't teach a lot of styles of hitting right here because it's there for a while, and last second he gets it up ready and then just unloads.
He became just the 8th player to ever hit a home run in his final game before the All-Star break, then homer in the All-Star game, and then finally hit a home run his first game following the Midsummer Classic. And in classic Paul Goldschmidt response, he said, I should have gotten that ball. About as steady Eddie of a player as there is.
Yeah, whenever you see a batting average with 2 strikes starting with a 2 in today's game, you know you're doing something special. And he's hitting almost 250 with 2 strikes. You just don't see those numbers in the style of game that is being played today and the way the hitters are trying to launch no matter what the count is.
Spans his own, fouls a fastball away, still 3-2.
If you're Charlie Morton, I love the way he's attacked him so far because off of breaking balls and curveballs, Goldschmidt's slugging and hitting for a high average. But you got to remember, whose curveball is he doing that off, right? And so you got to have trust in your curveball that you don't deviate from it or put it in your back pocket against guys who are having success against a particular pitch.
And he draws ball 4, a 2-out walk. Defensively behind Morton. Grossman isn't left. What a story Michael Harris' second has been. He covers a lot of ground in center field. Guillermo Heredia getting the start tonight in right field. Up the middle, Swanson and another rookie of Grissom on the corners. Of course, you've got Austin Riley and Matt Olson. Travis d'Arnaud does the catching tonight for Atlanta. Well, you know, if you are brave and you come up and you play really well, you get an extension. And they've been giving those out to a lot of players who are a big part of the right now for Atlanta and the future. And Michael Harris is certainly a part of that. He's had a sensational start to his big league career. Missing badly, ball one to Nolan Arenado.
Well, Nolan Arenado has done a lot of damage in the first 3 innings of his last 2 years. I mean, he is doing a lot of damage this year, but first 3 innings he has excelled in driving in runs and hitting homers, and loves the early part of the game. And that number right there is because Charlie Morton can get the ball away off the plate and spin it off the plate. He will chase off the plate.
Two outs, Goldschmidt at first. Thoughts out to left field, to the gap, back and short, hopping the wall, over the wall for a ground rule double. Arenado got it right on the button, and the Cardinals threatened with 2 outs at the bottom of the first inning.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Cardinals, this ball hit the warning track. If it doesn't hit the warning track, it's a 1-0 lead. A hanging breaking ball in the middle of the plate, and he absolutely keeps his head down and hits it in the gap. And that once it hit that track, another rule I'd like to see maybe changed, but that one's going to be a harder one.
Instituting your own scoring system easier?
Well, knowing where the runner is when that ball went over the wall, and you know easily he would have scored, but those are the rules, and a temporary bad break for the Cardinals.
Dickerson, a swinging strike.
He's been on a roll.
Well, you know, when you pick up a hit in 10 straight plate appearances, all of a sudden the average really starts to creep up.
It does. And it's strange, though, when you watch his and look at a lot of his numbers, he's struggling against fastballs, and especially fastballs up. But in that stretch, they either weren't making those pitches or he was getting to those pitches. I mean, he has one of the highest percentage of fastballs thrown to him in the league. So something had to give in that stretch of 10 in a row.
It's a franchise record. You think about all the Hall of Fame caliber hitters who've come through St. Louis over 100 years. None of them have ever had a hit in 10 straight at bats. Two outs and 2 on. Dickerson behind.
I mean, this should be a fastball up based on what they're trying to do to him, or a fastball out over the plate.
96 paint, lower inside corner. Charlie Morton works out of a first inning jam. He strands runners at second and third. Oh, what a special day here in St. Louis. Cardinals Hall of Fame induction ceremony. One of the all-time greats in Cardinal Red, Matt Holliday, inducted into the Redbirds Hall of Fame. And Matt, kind enough on a busy day to join us up in the booth. Matt, it's good to be with you. Congratulations. What a great day.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Good to see Smoltzy, and excited to be here with you guys.
What has today been like for you?
Well, it's early in the day. It's nerve-wracking as you're trying to come up with a speech, which is not necessarily something I do very often. So a little nerve-wracking early. Once that's out of the way, kind of take a deep breath, and then you know, just enjoying the atmosphere and the fans, and trying to enjoy this with your family, and catching up with some guys, some teammates, and it's been busy.
Now, did I hear what you said correctly, that today you were coming up with your speech?
No, I mean just worried about the speech. I've been working on it for a while. Finalized it this morning of what kind of direction sort of wanted to go, but yeah, I've been working on it for a while, so it wasn't just today.
Well, you know, I got the luxury to finish my career here with you guys, and you know, from afar, everyone thinks, well, your home fan base is the best, right? But when you play as a visitor here and then you play as a home player, I mean, this is a special place, and it does go without saying that they love their baseball here in St. Louis.
They really do. I mean, it's a really cool place to play, as you found out, and it's a tremendous fan base. They show up. They love baseball. They show up to events like today. I think just the region in general love Cardinal baseball, and it's the main thing in the off season. Front page news every day. Anybody signs or anything, so. It's important to people around here, and as somebody who loves baseball like I do, it was a tremendous honor to play here.
William Contreras is leading things off for Atlanta here in the top of the second inning. He's DHing once again tonight for the Braves. Fouls it away. What's it been like for you watching Albert Pujols this year?
It's been awesome. You know, it was such a cool story for him to come back here and you know, to kind of finish his career and finish up here. But the way he's played the last, you know, since the All-Star break has been really fun to watch. I mean, he looks like vintage Albert Pujols. I mean, yeah. I don't know what you think, John, but I mean, he's hit some balls further in the last 3 weeks than I've seen him hit in a while. And so it's I'm rooting hard for him to get to 700. I know that he's talked about this is it, and I think the way he's playing, I'm going to tell him, hey, you can do this for another year at least against lefties at least. I mean, he's killing lefties and being productive, and I know this is probably it for him, so I hope he gets all the way to 700. But he's been just such a thrill to watch over his whole career as a right-hand hitter. My appreciation for how many home runs and the kind of production that he's put up in his career is just crazy.
You're one day older than Albert Pujols.
I do know that. Yes, we celebrate birthdays one day apart.
Well, I got to say this. Aaron's not old. I'm old, but I'm old enough to know what the family structure here in St. Louis was, and you spent so much time with your boys either after the game or before the game in the cages. What is it like now to see your son be in the position he's in? I mean, he was a little guy.
Yeah, no, I see it fast. I know. I tell people all the time. I went to the Baltimore for the press conference, and they introduced me after he spoke. They introduced me. Jackson's dad's going to take some questions, and I thought, wow, that happened fast. He went from Matt Holliday's kid to I became Jackson Holliday's dad overnight.
That's when I remember him, and obviously now, what a moment, and that's just got to be incredible feeling for you.
Yeah, it's been really a really cool last couple months, and just kind of watching him, you know, transition from boy to grown up, and now he's out as a pro pursuing his dreams. It makes me feel old, but I'm super excited for him, and he's such a good kid, which I'm most proud of.
Jackson taken #1 overall in the draft by Baltimore. Was draft day as a dad more nerve-wracking than draft day as a player?
100%. It was just crazy how it happened, and we tried to stay busy and then keep him busy to keep his mind off of it. And as the show started, leading up to the draft, we still didn't know what was going to happen, and so it happened literally in the last minute and a half of the draft. You know, I get a call from the agent and says, you know, this is what might happen. What do you think? Call back. Manfred's walking to the stage to make the announcement. The agent calls me back and says they're going to pick him, and I chose not to tell them, and so they kind of found out in real time when Commissioner Manfred made the announcement. The excitement was organic because they had no idea what was about to happen.
I assume that was a game time decision on your part not to say anything?
I just decided, yeah, they could find out, because it was only cool. I only knew for about 20 seconds, so it was pretty cool how it all happened, and to see the excitement in the family and his siblings and the moment being sort of that candid was pretty cool.
How did he become a left-handed hitter?
I'm not sure. Actually, all three of my boys are left-handed hitters, so I don't know if there was something where they were watching it and imitating me on a reverse. I don't know. Maybe they saw how difficult it was to hit John Smoltz's slider and decided that if it was coming towards them, they'd have a better chance. So I don't know. My daughter hits right-handed, but she doesn't play softball, so she does have a nice right-handed swing, but it is crazy that they all three hit left-handed. They do almost everything else right-handed, but I think with the majority of the balls going down and away from a right-hand hitter, I'm actually okay with it.
So many people may not know, I know, you were also a quarterback. And we spent some time throwing the football. That was my pregame warning because my shoulder was shot. Did your boys gravitate to anything else, or they pretty much wanted to play baseball?
They've been playing basketball. When the season sort of ends, when you play playoff baseball, like I got a chance to here a lot, by the time you get home, it's into football season.
Yeah.
So they really never were able to sort of join into a football situation. They never really developed the passion that you and I had for football. And as much as it pains me, none of them have played football. I love football. I love to watch football. But they've played some basketball, and I've made sure they were involved in other sports.
Gorman's been busy early on tonight. 2 up and 2 down. You know, we were here earlier this month, Matt, when the Yankees were in town, and Matt Carpenter was here, and as you can imagine, the ovation for Carpenter was to the moon, right? It's been this incredible revival season for Carpenter. Unfortunately, on the injured list right now, fouled a ball, broke his foot. But I know you worked with him during the offseason. I'm sure Cardinals fans would love to know your perspective on what you've seen from Carpenter this year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I love the student of the game. I love to talk hitting. I love to watch hitters, and I love to sort of break down the swing. And he called me this offseason and said, hey, I want to come up. He's only about 3.5 hours from where I live, and he said, I want to come up and hit. And I said, sure, come on up. And so he came up, and we just talk and hitting, and he hit, and we hit in the cage. He hit with some of our guys at Oklahoma State on the field, and just kind of watching him, and some things that I had seen the last couple years that I thought were different from his peak seasons. And so we started talking, and I thought his direction was getting off. He was starting his swing with his front hip. It was getting high and right, and it was causing him to be under the ball too much tilt in his swing. And the fastball up and away, it looked like it was beating him a little bit. So just some little things, a couple little drills that I thought might help him. It seemed to help him. The next day we hit, the ball was coming off his bat. It looked different, looked better. But really, it came down to him feeling something. He went out, taking the minor league offer with the Rangers, going to the minor leagues, finding out if he's still, if it feels right, and the success started to come, and then gets a call from the Yankees and just takes off. So I've been thrilled for him. Obviously, the broken foot was heartbreaking, and hope that he can get back in time for the postseason, maybe earlier, so that he can get his timing back and really help them in what they're doing. But he's such a great friend, and just enjoy spending time talking hitting with him. And it was a thrill to get to kind of interact with hitting.
Yeah, before the injury, it was really one of the great feel-good stories in baseball this year. It's been incredible. Hey, Matt, it's a wonderful weekend for you. Congratulations for your son Jackson, and more topically for you being here in town, for being inducted into the Cardinals Hall of Fame. It's well earned, and it's been a real thrill for all the Cardinals fans to see you here back in that red blazer.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's great to join you guys.
Way to go, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Matt Holliday, one of the newest members of the St. Louis Cardinals Hall of Fame. Well, no scores. We move to the bottom of the second inning. Our thanks once again to Matt Holliday for swinging by. Busy weekend going into the Cardinals Hall of Fame. Tyler O'Neill takes the first pitch strike. Quickly behind 0-2. Morgan was able to get out of a first inning jam. He allowed a 2-out walk and then a double, stranded a couple of men in scoring position. A very close miss.
Tyler O'Neill is like a mini version of Mr. Holliday. I mean, he is jacked and looking to hit the ball to Big Mac land. Got a break on that pitch.
First fastball he sees misses high. It's been a down year for O'Neill. I'm sure he's tired of hearing about that. Last year, top 10 MVP finalist, or finish, I should say. Over 30 home runs. A Gold Glove. He OPS'd over 900. Checks his swing. They appealed. It does not go.
Well, that's a pitch that's been giving him troubles, and a fastball up, they've been getting by him. He's a good low ball hitter and power low, but the fastball up, he's not put a lot of those in play, especially 95 and above.
He's a tremendous athlete. Great runner. And he gets out of the way of a high fastball. He draws a leadoff walk, so some speed at first base. Well, you still have a free chance to win $10,000 of Big Papi's money tonight playing Fox Bet Super 6. Just scan the QR code now, download the Super 6 app, and get your picks into the MLB Super 6 Challenge for a free chance at $10,000. Second walk for Morton. Well, there's a lot of buzz about Nolan Gorman at the start of the year when he was in AAA with Memphis, and since he has come up, you look at his ranks in the National League among his rookie peers. He's been one of the best, especially when it comes to the slug and the power game. I mean, he can mash. Naturally, a third baseman, obviously that position is not available these days with Nolan Arenado, the game's best over there. So it's been a matter of finding playing time and a spot on the field for Gorman. He's at second base tonight.
Well, a little bit of swing and miss in his game, but those numbers show when he puts it in play, he does a lot of damage. And certainly the Cardinals find people. I just think it's amazing that they get guys, they come up, they get these hot stretches out of them, they shuffle the deck a little bit. They seem to always find the players in their system to come up and contribute.
Really, both of these organizations, you look at this year and historically, they've had just tremendous success with young players, their player development, young players coming up and making an impact right away. Look at Von Grissom at second base. Ozzie Albies, they hope can go on a rehab assignment at some point next week. He's been on the injured list for a long time with a broken foot. Whether it's Grissom or Harris in center field. Obviously what Austin Riley has done since he's been up. He's now, of course, feeling more like a veteran. And even when Riley was first on the scene and playing in left field because Josh Donaldson was at third base for that brief period of time for Atlanta, Riley has turned into an MVP candidate.
Well, Morton, this last two batters, has gotten underneath the fastball. He throws that low 3/4, and he wants to ride the fastball up against these two hitters. He walked the first one. And he's going to have to get back connected with that fastball if he's going to have success against this lineup.
Splits the edge. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Gorman. Maybe we see Pujols off the bench later tonight. He's enjoying the fans. His pursuit of 700 at 693 right now. Jammed him. Riley waits for it. One away.
Well, you see a changeup here, and that changeup, he stays on it, gets movement, gets a call, and then his fastball he throws and jams him. And that one right there was a pop-up. I'm always like, if I'm an infielder and I see a pop-up like that, I'm deciphering in my mind who's the faster runner. And if the faster runner's at first, I'm dropping it. Do I think too much? You could be honest.
I don't think you've ever been criticized for that.
I just think if the guy at the plate that hit the fly ball is the slower runner, make him get on first.
We have seen that from time to time. That's rare.
I just think it's good strategy. The ball's not going to go anywhere. It's not like you're going to lose the ball and you just clank it, drop it. Evan, let the crowd go, ah! And then
you would do it just for that.
Yeah, didn't make the 4 sound. I will tell you of the play that I promised my manager I would make. I don't think you were in the booth when I told the story, but I said, you know what? The very next pop-up bunt that I get, I'm going to let it drop in turn 2, because if the hitter doesn't run, it's an automatic double play. He goes, all right, I'll believe it when I see it, Smoltzy. Well, sure enough, it happened. And the center fielder fielded my throw.
There goes O'Neill. It's a fair ball to third. Riley circles around it. And it's ground by Olsen at first base. O'Neill is into second. He was off and running.
Well, this is a pretty good play. They sent the runner, but not a routine play, even though Riley is making a lot of these at third base look routine.
And he's doing his best Arenado impression over there at third base. So speed at second base now for the Cardinals. O'Neill, that leadoff walk in scoring position. Here's Tommy Edman. 9-hitting shortstop for the Cardinals.
He's your contact guy. He's not going to swing and miss too many times in the strike zone.
A lot of spin. Strike one taken with the curve.
Now, if he's going to chase anywhere, it'll be in off the plate versus away. He won't expand the zone away too often.
Foul. You good, Tommy?
How much is Morton aiming that curveball? I mean, like, where does he really want it?
Well, he wants to throw that because it's such a unique angle. He wants to create again that illusion in the strike zone and disappear. Now with 2 strikes, this is where you try to really bury. If he goes with the curveball, you bury it to the back foot because you've got him to swing at one, right? And if you're going to get him to swing at another one, this one's got to start on the inner half and disappear. And that's where you get a lot of left-handers to kind of chase that pitch if they decide to do that.
O'Neill at second, the 0-2. Instead of fastball just off the plate.
But he's one of the few guys that can literally, like, this is the danger if we go electronic strike zone. He can throw a lot of high curveballs that are unhittable. And if you can master that pitch with an electronic strike zone, it's going to register every single time. And he would benefit big time. He could dot each corner up, but he could throw that breaking ball that no hitter looks at and goes, oh yeah, I'm going to swing at that.
Yeah, that's an automatic take.
It is. It's just because the visual of the hitter is just. See, see where that pitch on the screen ended up right there. Borderline electronic strike zone, let's just say, if that was the case. And you throw a high curveball off of that, the hitter has no chance. He's going to see the pitch pop out of your hand and go, I can't swing at that. And then it comes down and catches the top of that zone. That's why I think if they go down that route, there has to be some adjustments to the strike zone before we can actually implement that system.
But to be fair, as you referenced, how many guys can really throw that breaking ball in that spot?
Well, a lot more than usual, and a lot more of the pitchers are trained to pitch top of the zone anyways with high velocity.
Down the left field line. Grossman chugging after it. Grossman is out of room. A foul ball.
Now, I'm still a little surprised that they've chosen to go away with 2 strikes when they got him to swing at a curveball in and down. This one is the kind of a backdoor, ends up being a backdoor curveball where that fastball is. Not much room down there.
Grossman, one of the deadline additions for the Braves. Began the year with Detroit. That's the second straight inning that Morton has had to deal with men in scoring position.
And that's when you start adding what's called stress pitches that don't get counted as much as pitches in total, right? 39 pitches, but about 15 of them have been a little stressful.
Way outside. Yes, the Cardinals have made Morton work. Nootbaar is on deck. Morton has been so good this month. 4 starts in August. He's gotten 6+ innings every time. A strikeout rate that is nearing 40% this month. Another 1-2.
There's the pitch.
Swing and a miss. It disappeared on him. Oh, he just got a piece.
There's the pitch. And again, for whatever reason, they're trying to get it. Look, every left-hander has a sweet spot down and in. You don't want to have that pitch end up down and in a strike zone. But as good as Charlie Morton can be, you can start that on the inside part of the plate, and I don't think he has a chance if he decides to swing, of course, on the pitch inside.
Next pitch will be the 9th to Tommy Edman. Leadoff walk to Tyler O'Neill now at second base. Here comes pitch number 9.
There it is.
And he ties him up with the hook.
Could have done that 6 pitches earlier.
After 2, 0-0. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. And by Charles Schwab. Own your tomorrow. Tonight on the gateway to the West, on the banks of the Mississippi. Middle game of 3. Braves winning last night. Montgomery really slows it down for strike 1 to Grossman. Well, Grossman went such a long time without homering for the Tigers. Just 2 home runs. It barely hit over 200 with the Tigers. Has been much better since coming over to Atlanta. He's in left field tonight. Shot to straightaway center, right to Tyler O'Neill for round number 1. Well, you know, when the season began, John, World Series hangover was probably said a million times around Atlanta and around baseball for that matter for Brian Snitker's team. 10-12, 13-15 month by month, and then man, they flipped the switch. How about June? 21-6, July 18-8. August has been just more of the same. I mean, if you look at it, since June 1st, when they started their 14-game winning streak, that's time for the longest such streak in baseball this year. Got the best record of the majors.
We were talking about up until that point, they were the only team that hadn't won or lost 3 in a row. It was that kind of a not a dull start, but not even a hangover start. And then they blew by the 3 in a row and said we're going to go to 14 in a row, and they haven't looked back since.
Well, since June 1st, they've won roughly 75% of their games. It's just been remarkable.
And you know, I know Brian Snitker enough to know that he meant what he said when we asked him way back then. He goes, you know, I don't even look at the standings till after the All-Star break. And I believe that. I mean, I wouldn't. I'd look at it all the time because I mean, that's what you're measured by. And as a player, I was always looking at scores of the other teams. But he stayed with that, and that team that won the World Series again in an improbable way was not bothered by it. But he did have that one little meeting to say, all right, boys, we're better than this. Let's go. And they have.
Gets Heredia to expand 1 and 2. You saw Ronald Acuna Jr. on the bench there. Not in the lineup tonight. Snitker saying he is available if needed off the bench. Some knee inflammation, just not moving quite right. So he's getting the night off.
And I'll tell you what, Montgomery, since coming over here and working with Yachty and just the system, everybody's got a different system. Every team doesn't clone everybody the same way. And, you know, he's throwing to Kisner tonight, but it's like this. He's a new pitcher. I mean, in theory, he's a new pitcher because he's got some weapons back that he thought were good that other, you know, to Kenny's point, the Yankees had him going in a different direction.
Heredia chases off the plate. That's the 3rd strikeout early on tonight for Montgomery. Last 8 starts with New York, an ERA just over 5 1/4. They hit .268 off of him. I mean, he's been almost untouchable in 4 starts in a Cardinals uniform. The Cardinals have won all 4 of his starts. A .35 earned run average, an opposing batting average of just under 150.
And some people are going to point out this is kind of an obvious. It's a much bigger park that he's pitching in. Of course, Yankee Stadium's not exactly pitcher friendly. The East has some different teams in it than, of course, the Central does. But the point is, his confidence is exuding in the way that he's throwing pitches. Very few of those center cut fastballs that he's throwing. He's mixing and matching, as pitchers talk this all the time about changing speeds and locations and throwing strikes.
And he got away with one there. Middle to Swanson. Hard hit single for Dansby Swanson to begin the ball game tonight. He was stranded at 3rd base. Some paints. 0 and 2. Two outs, nobody on. Montgomery's 0-2. Just missing. And Montgomery coming off his first career complete game. He shut out the Cubs at Wrigley Field. Just misses off the black here. He spun a Maddox, 99 pitches for that shutout. What's a Smoltz, by the way?
That's a loaded question right there.
I mean, you kind of drew the short end. You didn't get in the Nike commercial?
Yeah, it's because I didn't wear Nikes. I mean, obviously, I had all the power, and those guys didn't even have a home run when they did that commercial.
How many did you have?
I had a bunch. Well, a lot more than them. I had, I think, 4 or 5. But they did hit some afterwards, which was impressive.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
I fell off the bench when Glavine hit one. I didn't think he'd ever hit one.
It's another strikeout for Montgomery. He's punched out 4 over 3 scoreless. Now possibly the National League MVP, a man in the hunt for the Triple Crown. Paul Goldschmidt will bat 3rd when we come back. Right fielder Lars Nootbaar leads things off in the home 3rd for the Cardinals. Been a taxing first couple of innings as Morton gets a strike call. Morton 43 pitches to get the first 6 outs. He's had runners in scoring position each of the first 2 frames. Quickly 0-2.
That pitch is way underrated for Charlie Morton. He didn't throw a ton of changeups, but that action of his arm and his release lends to that movement and change of speeds.
Soft chopper. Riley hanging with it on to first. It is in time. Like Riley maybe needed an extra step to get a good grip. Able to throw a heater to first base and nab Newbar by a half step.
I mean, this is such a good play because it's hit off the end of the bat and the momentum taking him in right there. He knows he's got to get rid of it quickly because he can run. And just the drills again, over and over again with Ron Washington. This defense and this infield has been huge for the Atlanta pitchers, as much as the Cardinals defense for their pitchers. And I would add this. I'd say the St. Louis defense means more to them than the Atlanta defense, because Atlanta has a lot of strikeout pitchers in their rotation for the most part, and St. Louis doesn't. They have more contact pitchers, so that defense that they're playing this year is a big reason why they're in first.
Well, a guy who can play all over the place defensively, Donovan, although he is DHing tonight. And Cardinals, one of the lowest strikeout rates in baseball among their staff. Meanwhile, the Braves tied with the Mets, the highest strikeout rate of the majors.
The guy last night's no joke, Mr. Strider, the mustache,
the quads.
Yeah, throwing at 100, spinning a slider.
And we're talking about Goldschmidt and Triple Crown and MVP possibilities. Obviously some huge hardware, but if you're talking National League Rookie of the Year, that man's at the top of the list. Now the man at center field behind him for the Braves, Michael Harris, is second. Is right in that conversation also, but Strider has been, I mean, in a class of his own in that regard. Cut on and missed. Morton, when that hook has been spinning home tonight. How about those Rookie of the Year candidates? Strider, Harris, Donovan has just been terrific no matter where they put him. A great eye at the plate. Terrific contact skills. 300 the average. The on base over 400. He's been tremendous for the Cardinals. It's just easy gas for Strider.
It's just a unique style too, to how he sets his foot and just goes downhill, and the terminology is let it eat, and he is letting it eat. He's letting that fastball go, and he develops that third pitch. Watch out.
One ball and one strike to Goldschmidt. He walked earlier, was stranded 90 feet from home. Backs him up. Now Goldschmidt, twice the MVP runner-up during his time in the desert. Lost out to it to Bryce Harper, to Andrew McCutchen as well. Chance to win his first this year. Gets ahead 3 balls and a strike. Arenado would be next. He doubled earlier. He's hoping Goldschmidt can reach. But a lot of swings out of the zone facing Morton.
Well, when he's on, and that's what he does. That was a cutter slash slider. He throws the fastball, kind of an upshoot, and then that big curveball and changeup. So he's trying to dissect that zone and getting him leaning out over the plate so that his fastball looks like 100 instead of 95.
Fights off that fastball. Still 3-2 to Goldschmidt. Here comes the payoff. I jammed him.
He's trying to backdoor that sinker and try to catch the outside part of the plate, and he see how the ball just slips in and just goes inside. That was supposed to be an outside pitch, And every once in a while with that angle, he crossfires, and he did that.
Two outs, nobody on, and another 3-2. They hit him. And Morton lost the grip on that. Goldschmidt walks and now is hit by a pitch.
Yeah, this one just slips out of his hands, but that's the release point that gets him in a little bit of trouble. And they can see why 15 hit batsman, because he's trying to stay on that pitch. See how it slips out of his hand and goes backwards. You're going to get hit by any pitch. That pitch is a little better than a 96.
Down to Kenny.
This would be the 5th time Charlie Morton has led his league in hits batsmen. The 5th. Now, he takes comfort over the past 3 seasons. 29 of his 36 hit batsmen have been on curveballs, like that one right there. But he obviously is not trying to plunk hitters, and he still considers the statistic embarrassing overall. The worst part in his mind, 11 of those hit batsmen over the past 3 seasons on 0-1 or 0-2 counts.
Interesting. Well, this not on an 0-2, but did have 2 strikes and 2 outs, and it brings a really dangerous hitter to the plate in Nolan Arenado, who doubled his last at bat.
And very aggressive on the first pitch. So good meeting right there to reset the brain. But you got to make a quality pitch right here against Nolan Arenado, because he loves going after the first pitch.
Ball.
He takes, just missing ball 1.
The moving feet in the box, boy, he loves playing defense. He loves hitting. He just seems like he's anxious to do both, but you see those feet moving, and get ready to let it go.
And he finds open space on the right side. He serves a single to right field. And similar to the first inning, when Morton retired the first 2 batters, he then allows Goldschmidt to reach and a base hit to Arenado.
Well, this is just classic hitting. When you've got a shift on and you see that fastball, it's almost predetermined sometimes. If you know you've got that ability to stay down, head down, and follow through with the swing, pass the baton on to the next guy, create that stress, although be it with 2 outs.
Arenado 2 for 2. Here is Dickerson. He struck out with runners at second and third to end the first inning. He's been good this year with runners in scoring position. Golfed left center. Harris angling back, and he's able to reel it in. Harris made that one look easy. Now for the second time in 3 frames, Morton strands a pair. Progressive Insurance. Protect the stuff you love with Renters Insurance. And by Google Pixel. Around on the banks of the Mississippi. Cardinals and the Braves scoreless tie as we start the 4th. After Matt Olson leads off for Atlanta. Montgomery gave up a leadoff single to begin the ball game. He sat down 9 in a row since. Pumps in a first pitch strike. And of those 9 straight outs, almost everything has either been on the ground or a strikeout. Right back where it came from, into center field. Olson's second hard hit ball tonight. This time he's rewarded with a base hit. That snaps 9 in a row. Sat down by Montgomery.
Right down the middle. Hasn't thrown many pitches right down the middle, and another unique batting style, but the timing when he's on, he's got power, and obviously gets that barrel of the bat right to the zone. Starts unique, but finishes classic.
Leadoff man reaching in front of Austin Riley. Now, Riley has spoken about how meaningful it is for him to compete against Albert Pujols in his final season as a Cardinal, final season in the game. Riley's talked about how he grew up watching Albert, how he spent time working out with Albert Pujols. And the great number 5 now 7 home runs shy of 700. This is deflected by Montgomery, makes it a harder play, and everybody's safe. Really slowed it down. Riley is aboard, and Olson is into second.
Yeah, the way Montgomery's pitching, if you don't stay inside the ball, in other words, if you're trying to pull and lift, he's going to eat you up. And these last 2 hitters have gone right up the box, and this ball was hit pretty good, and the glove slows it down, but then it ends up hurting his case to get that out. That could have been a double play as hard as it was hit, but get rewarded with a single.
How hard is it to fight trying to make a play?
Well, that's just reaction. That's not even the ones that you're fighting are the ones that you know the guy's right behind you and you still try to get it and you tip it. It's so hard to remember where the guys are when you're in your zone. But when you take time to remember where you look at where your defenders are, you have a better perception than when the ball's hit to, oh, let it go. But if you don't take time to check, your natural reaction is I'm going to get it, and you kind of mess it up more than you help.
It stays at Kisner's feet.
There's a cross up there. I mean, they signaled maybe cross up. The way he was turning his glove, he was expecting something different.
Olson at second, Riley at first. A 2-0 count to d'Arnaud. Braves happy to have d'Arnaud back. He missed 7 games earlier this month, dealing with a right leg injury. Has really had some good years, but the Braves has had some injuries. Last year missed a bunch of time with a hand issue. Over 80 games, but when he has been in there, he's been an impactful piece of this Braves team, both offensively and of course behind the plate. Well, this is really rifled out to right center field. You want to talk some oppo power. Travis d'Arnaud's 14th of the year is a 3-run blast. That was hammered.
And again, all 3 of the hits were center to right center driven, meaning staying up the middle. And this pitch, if you try to pull this pitch, there's no chance that that ball goes out of the ballpark. So the ball was up against him, and wow, did he do a good job staying on that ball. This is the swing. If you're trying to pull that pitch, you've got no chance. And he went with the pitch and got rewarded big time.
On one swing, Montgomery has given up more runs in this inning as a Cardinal than he had in his previous 4 starts combined. Mike Maddox, his pitching coach, looking on. Nothing in 2 to William Contreras. And Montgomery had allowed just 1 run over his first 4 starts. Now this Braves lineup, 2nd in baseball on home runs, 3rd in runs per game. We mentioned how Montgomery had sat down 9 in a row, but then a single, an infield base hit, and then a 3-run home run.
I don't know if there was a change in approach, but it sure looked like in this inning, and good part of the order, of course, for the Braves. Rifled 3 balls.
On the ground, this sneaks through. 4 straight base hits. And now digging for 2. Aggressive base running, and Contreras a headlong slide. A hustle double. And they're applying the pressure here.
I mean, it's just an amazing year that he's having. And then right there, he recognizes he's got a chance to get 2. And it's unbelievable how the year that maybe beginning of the year they didn't know if this kid was ready, and he has been a incredible bonus at the catcher spot, the DH, and offensively. I think the Braves have one of the best catching duo combination offensively, especially from the power numbers. You can make a case that it's as good as any single or any duo that's out there in the game.
No, he and his brother William and Wilson, both all-stars this year. You know, John, were you in the graphics meeting today?
I was not. That's a little lucky on my part.
You're supposed to say that you not only were you there, you ran the graphics meeting. They report to you. Yeah, you look at catchers this year, big league ranks of the backstops for the Braves. First in homers, OPS, and runs batted in. By the way, 4 straight hits, 4 straight hard hits. Olson, Riley, d'Arnaud, all over 100 miles an hour off the bat. Contreras nearly that hot off the barrel. Grissom out to left center. O'Neill has enough room to make the catch. Contreras hustles into third. He slides in.
That's a gap. Great at bat. That's what I named it. That's our rule change. You looked at me like I just decided it's a gap.
Like, right. Was it Vaughn Grissom who inspired this? Like right now, you saw this? And
I saw it. We talked about it in the first inning. We've seen a couple instances, and now it's great at bat. Gap. It's going to catch fire. I'm telling you. Just give it time.
Oh, well, we still got plenty of time left in this season. Speaking of graphics meeting, I think that's the next ref.
It's catchy. Gab.
Here's Harris. He takes almost center cut for a strike. But a great at bat can only be one. I mean, do you have to make an out to have a gap?
No, not at all. You don't have to. But I think that's the purpose of it, is to show that you don't always have to get a hit to be rewarded. Move a runner over. Get him in.
They bring the infield in. Harris broken bat, deflects off the glove, and Montgomery is having some hard contact and at times some bad luck this inning. Contreras scores. Grissom, after the flyout from Grissom to move him over, Harris right back to the mound, and he makes it a 4-0 Atlanta lead.
See, that bat we were talking about brought the infield in. Now that increases the odds for the hitter to get a hit if he puts it in play. But we've seen a lot of times where the hitter doesn't deviate and still trying to crush the ball and gets a lot of big swings and misses and strikeouts at the wrong time.
And so Grissom's deep fly ball out moves Contreras, who scores on the comebacker. Contreras scores on the comeback from Harris, that is. And this has been, unfortunately, from Montgomery's perspective, kind of a little bit of everything in this inning.
I mean, he could have had, and you could make the argument, fortunately, he deflected it. It could have been a double play. The second hitter in the game of this inning, but it ended up deflecting off his glove, and then, of course, the rest has been kind of snowballed.
Brings up Robbie Grossman. Grossman batting 8th in left field tonight.
just have to come up with a cumulative number for GAB, because you got to have opportunities, and then your GAB number is, you know, OPS, RISP.
You want to go GAB plus to adjust it for league and ballpark?
That gets me a little bit out of, you know, bent a little the wrong way when you start talking about something plus. So I want to keep it.
I'm all for it then.
Yeah, I want to keep it a very easy number. He's had 75 opportunities and got the job done 25 times or 40 times.
Got to say, you, this is clearly John Smoltz's idea. The naming of it more than that.
Yeah.
You came up with this a lot earlier than I thought. I mean, this finds Arenado. He goes down to second, on to first. Montgomery needed that one. Double play ball. Ends the top of the fourth. Damage dealt. D'Arnaud, a 3-run blast, part of a 4-run frame for the Braves. D'Arnaud's 3-run home run, helping to get 4 runs across for the Braves in the top of the 4th inning. O'Neill takes inside for ball 1. He walked his last plate appearance. So 4-run cushion now for Charlie Morton. He's had to labor a little bit over the first 3 innings. He's been able to keep the Cardinals off the board.
He has, and he had a big delay. And when you have a big delay, sometimes you can get a little off kilter when you're trying to get back out there and put up a 0. The big delay got him 4 runs, so you deal with it. As a pitcher, you're smiling. You just want to get back in rhythm and get some quick outs, because you mentioned it, his pitch to count at 64. The last thing you want to do is walk the leadoff hitter after giving up, after the team gave you 4 runs. That's the last thing. You don't care if it hits a 3-1 pitch for a homer. Just don't walk him.
All 4.
Well, he walks him on 4 pitches, no less. O'Neill's second time drawing ball 4. Well, the Cardinals, they have drawn 3 walks. They've had a hit batter. They've had runners in scoring position in each of the first 3 innings. And Ollie Marmol's team, which, you look at the offense for the Cardinals this month. It's been the best in baseball by average, on base, OPS, homers, runs per game. Averaging nearly 6 runs a game this month. Haven't been able to cash in yet. And Morton gets a call for strike 1 to Nolan Gorman.
I know walking the leadoff hitter statistically probably is not the same in this style of game, but usually it doesn't work well when you walk the leadoff hitter when you have a lead. It just feels like a bigger rally to the team.
Softly popped up. Riley is in on the grass. Now the Braves third baseman makes the catch for out number 1.
And the reason I say nowadays you can get away with it is because the style of hitting is get the ball off the ground, get it in the air, swing and miss, homers, walks. So you can kind of dance around it a little bit more, but it's never good either way to walk the leadoff hitter with a lead. We got fined heavily in Kangaroo Court when we did that. Automatic.
So is this why? I mean, I was wanted to ask you. I mean, you mentioned a moment ago that you would rather give up a leadoff home run than a leadoff walk.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're not being facetious.
No.
You actually mean that. You'd rather have a run on the board than have a runner at first base.
Well, given the circumstance,
in this situation,
yeah, because now you don't feel like you gave them a gift. When you go out, if your team gets you those runs, you get after that first hitter, and that first hitter gets a hit, so be it. But if you don't get after that first hitter and you kind of look like I walked him, it has a negative connotation. Just normally doesn't work well. Yeah, automatic fine.
It must have been a heavy fine. I mean, this is.
Yeah, it's one of those. I mean, again, 100 years ago, that's what it was. It was like, you just don't do that. And nowadays you can get away with it a little bit because there's more swing and miss in the game, more velocity, and all those things that we talk about.
Fine's got to be increased for a 4-pitch walk.
100%. Yeah. I mean, if you walk them 3-2, it's still a walk. But if you walk them on 4 straight pitches, you're definitely. There's not even a defense. You don't even. You just go guilty.
You don't plead your case.
Yeah.
There's no case to plead. Well, Kisner's ahead 2-0. Takes a strike.
Now, I did play long enough to become the judge for a long time. That was actually a good. It's kind of a good gig. I was an honest judge. But I was looking for conspiracy style. You know, you'd have to bring it up. You'd have to have a witness. You know, we had our bailiff. We had the whole situation set up. I had the robe.
Kisner leans into this. Out to left. Gone into the bullpen. The Cardinals check in with a 2-run home run. The second of the season for Andrew Kisner.
And that's case in point. 4-1. It's not that big a deal. 4-2. You just cut the lead in half. And Charlie knows that first hitter bled into the next couple. And now he's going to turn this lineup over unless he can get the next 2 hitters out. You got to face their monsters again.
There's the 9-man Tommy Edman. This place has been pretty quiet for the first few innings. Now another full house at Busch Stadium making some noise after Kisner's second home run this year. Rolled over foul to first base. Back to the home run from Kisner.
Well, I don't know if he was sitting on a breaking ball, but he got one that wasn't spinning at all. Kind of a cutter slash slider that he just crushed.
Only his 5th career home run, broke into the big leagues back in 2019. Fouls it away, still 0-2. Gotta go check out that swing on the iPad.
Absolutely.
We've had dueling catcher home runs in this game. Darno, a 3-run home run. Now Kisner's.
I'm trying to think what I would have been able to. I don't know how much I would have used it while I was pitching. Like if I threw a pitch right there and things were going good, maybe go check it out in the bottom half of the innings. Like I want to see that. Ooh, look at that.
You want the highlight reel.
Yeah.
You want the Smoltz hype tape between every inning.
You know, honestly, I know a lot of pitchers would look at that home run pitch that they gave up. I never like to look at anything that was bad, just because I already know. I mean, I don't need to reinforce what I just gave up. I want to see what's good or reinforce the good, so that when I'm out there, I'm thinking about that and not a hanging pitch that got hit 400 feet.
Are you referring to in game or
yes.
at any point?
Yeah, in game.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'll rely on the catcher. I'll just say, hey, where was that pitch? And he's like, I caught too much of the plate. Okay.
0-2 quickly on Newbar. He's having a terrific month. He's OPSing over 1,000 in August. Batting leadoff again tonight for the Cardinals.
That's why they call these innings for pitchers shutdown innings, and it wasn't a shutdown inning.
Tiptoes fair, gobbled up by Olsen for round number 3. It's a 4-2 ball game now. Kisner a 2-run home run. Now Darno with a mighty 3-run blast. And then the Cardinals backstop responds. Kisner's second of the year, the 5th of his career, gets the Redbirds on the board. Now some offense all of a sudden as we move to the 5th. Heredia down by the foul pole. Strike 1. 4-run 4th for Atlanta. Cardinals hang a crooked number of their own. The 2-run home run by Kisner. That jackknifes him to make it a ball and a strike. Montgomery had been almost untouchable in his first 4 starts. 28 2/3 innings, just 1 run. After all, he's coming off a complete game shutout against the Cubs at Wrigley. He faced just 1 over the minimum. Best start of his career. He gave up 4 runs in that 4th inning alone.
And he's been really good all night. He really has. That 1 inning just kind of snowballed on him, and just a click away from really getting out of that inning, minimal damage.
They'd sat down the previous 9 straight. Almost hit him. Yeah, Montgomery has been better than anybody could have realistically hoped for when he was acquired at the deadline from New York. Harrison Bader going from St. Louis to the Bronx, a Bronx native.
Well, you think about it, and from the Yankees standpoint, they had to make a decision internally that he wasn't going to pitch in any postseason starts, right? You're not trading a guy that you figure is going to be in the rotation. They're going to the postseason, and more than likely they're going to have a bye. So now he becomes an integral part on a team that he will be one of the top starters in the postseason at the rate he's been going. So kind of an interesting twist in how it took place for the Yankees and the Cardinals.
A big part of what the Cardinals are doing. A first place team, 6-game lead over Milwaukee. A team they had been chasing all year long until recently. Only marbled his first year at the helm of the Cardinals. And they were chasing Craig Counsell's Brew Crew almost all season long. This is on the ground. It finds Gorman, the rookie second baseman. Round number 1. We tracked the standings in the Central. Well, on May 1st, Cardinals 2 games behind the Crew. How about on June 1st? Copy and paste, 2 games behind Milwaukee. July, are we getting used to this yet? Into July, and a little bit worse, 4 games back, and then you talk about flipping the script. Cardinals now not only have they passed Milwaukee, 6 games in front of the Brewers.
And I'm going to tell you something. It coincided with the trade the Brewers made, and their team morale and the clubhouse. You can't tell me. Players are human. And
Josh Hader going to San Diego.
They traded Josh Hader, and they tried to make a move that thought would be better long term and maybe even for the year, and they lost 5 in a row. And they lost 5 in a row in a hard way because they had the lead in a lot of those games.
It was the bullpen that blew it late.
Yes.
And Pittsburgh series in particular.
I don't think the Brewers have been the same. That doesn't mean they can't go on a roll and catch the Cardinals, but that's a big blow to your team when your heart and soul of your bullpen is traded.
Goldschmidt has this one come back towards the field. He makes the catch. 4-time Gold Glove Award winner hauls it in for round number 2.
And their offense went south, and the Cardinals offense went north, and that's been the difference. I mean, you talking about exploding offensively at the right time for the Cardinals. There's been so many swings in divisional play throughout the year. I mean, give it 1 week is what people would say. Team wins 7 in a row, 10 in a row. It's really been weird to watch how, with the exception of the Dodgers and the Astros.
Now Olsen jumps on the first pitch, tagged to the gap, short hops the wall. Olsen strides to second base, his 41st double in stand-up fashion. That was smoked. He's got a multi-hit night.
And there's that breaking ball that he hits well off of left-handers. He stays in there, and statistically it's been a good pitch for him. He follows it, tracks it, and then really the only thing that kept it from going out of the park was a topspin kind of spin off the bat. See if Montgomery throws a first pitch changeup here. He's had Riley off balance with a changeup early in the count.
High fastball.
Riley's cooled down a little bit. He's on a torrid pace himself, and he's in the conversation for MVP. Of course, we've documented what Goldschmidt, it would take a heroic last month to overtake Goldschmidt.
And a slide by Goldschmidt, you'd have to figure.
Yeah.
That moves him back. Riley signing the most lucrative deal in team history, 10-year extension, $212 million. Out to the gap, barreled up, right center field. Newbar can't get to it, and it bounces over the wall. Olsen scores. Riley has had a couple of rifle shots in this game. This one scores a run. Atlanta now leads at 5-2.
But this is the approach that's changed the game around for the Braves. They've stayed this at bat right here. Watch him stay on the ball and go to right center. All right, that's a predetermined approach, I believe, to stay on the ball, go to right center, get rewarded with a double. Well, in that fourth inning, again, whether it was on accident or on approach, that's what the Braves were able to do to break the game open in a scoreless tie. They did a nice job making the adjustments after 9 outs in a row.
Darno takes inside. Back in that fourth inning you were talking about, John.
Well, here's the first pitch right up the middle, right? They say spin the cap on the pitcher, and another one right up the middle, gets off the glove and miss. But that one right there, that's the difference. Staying on the ball, hitting that ball the other way, and then even with 2 strikes, up the middle and up the middle, and that's been the change really for the Atlanta Braves and for the Cardinals on the opposite end.
Here's a soft chopper, tough play. Edman on to first, and it is in time. Darno retired. Riley stranded. Austin Riley tacks on a run for Atlanta. 5-2 after 4.5. Enjoy the show wherever you are with MLB app, with coverage of in-game highlights, pitch-by-pitch features, select live broadcast coverage, and more. You won't miss a beat. Download the MLB app today. Donovan takes a first pitch strike. He leads off the Cardinals' 5th inning. I'll tell you what, Brendan Donovan might be getting a break tonight defensively as a designated hitter, but I have never seen any person, let alone a big leaguer, catch as many ceremonial first pitches as Brendan Donovan did. I think half those in attendance tonight threw a ceremonial first pitch, and Donovan was behind home plate for all of them. Here comes Paul Goldschmidt. He is the subject of tonight's Above and Beyond, sponsored by Jersey Mike's. Let's check in on this Triple Crown watch right now. Goldschmidt, the clear leader in batting average, hitting .338. How about home runs? Trails the Phillies' Kyle Schwarber by just a pair, and he's tied with the Polar Bear, 105 RBIs. There has not been a Triple Crown winner in the National League since 1937, when Joe Medwick won it for these Cardinals. Hall of Fame left fielder. Miguel Cabrera was the game's last Triple Crown winner. That was back in 2012.
Still matters in some circles.
Your circle?
My circle for sure. I've never really, look, I've adapted to certain things and kind of learned certain things about the nuances of new analytics, but I've never understood why RBIs get discounted as much as they do. There's an art to it and an ability that driving in runs, that's what you want to do as a big league hitter.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Goldschmidt. It's an interesting conversation because tell me what you think about this. Just because you rack up a lot of RBIs does not necessarily mean you are a better hitter than a hitter with fewer RBIs.
Right? Well, that's 2 different subjects, though, right?
For sure.
Correct.
Skimming softly on the ground. Grissom a long way to get to it. Unloads quickly. And Goldschmidt legs it out.
Told you the big guy can run.
It's an infield base hit.
He hits this and he knows right away he's got a chance. So he puts his head down and he's legging it out and just gets to the front of the bag, which is what you got to do. Hit the front of the bag, not the middle there. Timing steps are perfect. And that's how close it was.
Now for more of the Triple Crown. Kenny, what are your thoughts?
Well, Paul Goldschmidt, in addition to the traditional Triple Crown, also leads in all three slash line categories. That's batting average, part of the traditional Triple Crown as well, and on base percentage and slugging percentage.
Arenado! Blast off left field! Gone! Home run! It's a 1-run game!
Well, he loves the first pitch, and he got one he could deliver.
Now, not many guys hotter over the last couple of months than that man, Nolan Arenado. 2-run home run, the second 2-run home run in as many innings for the Cardinals. The 0-1 to right field. Heredia, he's got room. Round number 2. Kenny, you were saying?
I was saying Paul Goldschmidt is much more into process than results. He told me, listen, I just try to play the best I can. If you're playing well, all those numbers probably coincide. I can't be like, oh, I'm going to try harder. It's kind of like when they play big games, right? He says, you can't say, oh, now I play my best. What was I doing all those other games? Now, Nolan Arenado, we need to note this, guys. 2 days ago, he became a father for the first time. His wife, Laura, gave birth to a baby girl, Levi. I would say he is showing some serious dad strength tonight.
Yeah, no question there. That was a blast. You know, you look at, you have to look at plate appearances with runners in scoring position.
Right.
Well, the man that man is tied with, Goldschmidt, that is, in terms of RBIs, is Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso leads baseball with plate appearances with runners in scoring position. Goldschmidt is 53rd. I mean, he's had far fewer opportunities. He's OPSing over 1,100 with runners in scoring position this year. He's slugging over 650. Riley thigh high to first base. O'Neill retired. Nolan Arenado, at the last couple of games, celebrating the birth of a child. He's making the family proud after 5. It's a 1-run game. Well, these 2 guys might finish 1 and 2 in the National League MVP vote. It was an infield base hit by Goldschmidt, and then a 2-run home run by Nolan Arenado. Pretty good production so far tonight between these 2. William Contreras leads it off in the 6th. He gets ahead 2-0.
Probably the last inning for Charlie Morton. He wasn't as sharp. He will leave the game with a lead, but his counterpart Montgomery really did have sharper stuff tonight, even though he gave up 5 runs.
Both bullpens are active right now. 3-0 the count to Contreras. He doubled his last at bat.
Ball 4.
A bad miss. 4-pitch walk. A leadoff walk. Jojo Romero. He has pitched well since coming to St. Louis.
And again, not what you want when your team gets you back in the game and scores 2 runs, is that leadoff walk. It haunted Charlie Morton. Will it haunt Montgomery? He may not be given a chance.
Ollie Marmol signals to the bullpen. 5+ tonight for Montgomery. We've got a pitching change. Top of the 6th inning. Braves by a run. That's how you do it, John.
I guess. Me and the beverage that he was smashing did not work well together. So I had it one and done in my closing opportunities. I was dragging. I needed something. This came out on the market. I tried it. I almost got thrown out of the game. And I think I had a long streak of consecutive saves blown that night. Right there. That drink. One and done.
And you blame it on like
it didn't
mix well.
Made me angry. Made me like I mean, I was
that angry.
I showed up in the bullpen the next day with it and with water, and they all chased me to get it out of me, get it out of my hand. It's not for everybody, you know.
Grissom is the first to face Romero. He was acquired at the deadline by the Cardinals from the Phillies, making just his 3rd appearance out of the Cardinals bullpen.
Fastball, slider, changeup.
Just misses the top line.
Been a really good strike zone tonight from home plate umpire. I mean, it's every pitch that looks like a ball just off the plate has been a ball. No surprises.
To center. O'Neill has it come right to him. Well, Grissom squared it up, but he's out number 1. It's the 2nd out to center field. Here's Michael Harris, his 2nd. Montgomery, his first tough start as a Cardinal. 5+, 5 earned, 8 hits, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Gave up the 3-run home run to d'Arnaud in the 4th inning. He is responsible for Contreras at first base. First pitch to Harris. He looks at a strike. Now Harris just 21 years old. We see him now in his rookie season just flying all over the place in center field. He's a tremendous defender. Coming out of high school in Georgia, some had him as the top left-handed pitcher in the States. He goes. He was touching 93. Braves selected in the 3rd round. Debuted in late May this year. Drafted back in 2019. And among National League rookie ranks, he leads the National League in rookies among ribbies, OPS, runs scored, 2nd most home runs. A wave and a miss, and some good gas from Romero. Maybe caught more of the plate than he wanted, but he blew it right past him.
Like a 2-seam backspin there.
Two outs. Contreras at first base. Robbie Grossman now hits. There's that top line at 96 miles an hour, a ball and a strike. Contreras, property of Montgomery.
I just had a vision of, you were talking about Michael Harris in the categories he was leading in as rookies. Next year at this time, there'll be Gabs in there.
You think he'll be all alone at the top?
I think there's a good chance.
Great at bats. Great at bats. Weren't with us for our self-discovery. 2-2. Might be your next Triple Crown category. Maybe bump RBIs, that worthless stat, John. Replace it with something that means something these days.
We'll still continue that conversation.
Grossman fouls it away. Grossman's really had a nice big league career. He's played in close to 1,000 games. Came up with the Astros, spent some time with Minnesota. Oakland, most recently with the Tigers before being dealt to Atlanta. Always had good on base skills. Just missing inside. Heredia would be next, number 9 hitter. Cut on and missed. Breaking ball against Grossman. A couple of strikeouts for JoJo Romero, who strands Contreras at first base. Well, Thursday, the Big Ten is in prime time on Fox as Sean Clifford leads Penn State in a season opener against Purdue. Coverage begins 7 p.m. Eastern Thursday on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Colin McHugh has taken over on the mound. First reliever out of the bullpen for Atlanta. He misses high to Nolan Gorman for ball 1.
I always find this a little interesting. Colin McHugh doesn't throw anything straight, and he has kind of the same mannerisms of the baseball and the way he spins it as Charlie Morton. And so the mannerisms of this hitting team are going to see kind of the same thing, but a smaller version. Of course, Colin McHugh is a little bit shorter than Charlie Morton.
Two balls and a strike to Gorman. Yeah, years ago for McHugh, it was the curveball. It has transitioned to the slider now. But he can spin it with the best of them. I'll tell you something else he has in common with Charlie Morton. Two guys whose career trajectory changed drastically once they arrived in Houston.
Yeah.
Morton had a lot more service time. Had been basically kind of an average-ish big league starting pitcher for years before he got to Houston. Had some injury problems.
Yep.
For McHugh, he had spent just a couple of years in the big leagues with the Mets and the Rockies. It was dreadful. I mean, granted, it was fewer than 50 innings, but no results at all. He really got beaten up into the shift for round number 1. Brent Strom had a really good thing going there in Houston.
He did.
And you spin it, you throw at the top of the zone, and a lot of guys got some great results, and that was McHugh, and it changed his career.
So we really have to say 5-3 right there on the score sheet?
By baseball rule. It really upset you. You actually, your hand made pretty firm contact with the counter up here.
Well, I mean,
I was afraid the microphones were going to pick it up. One out.
Hyman got him.
And just clipped him.
the old perplex, never get out of the way. Stick it in there, which you rarely get to see it called, right?
That's a little more subtle, but yeah, guess they're leaning into that a little bit. Easier to see in real time, or pardon me, in slow-mo than it is in real time. One out base runner for Tommy Edman.
There was a time where if that happened, the next at bat, a little firmer pitch would see if you're going to stick your arm out. And maybe some verbal conversations of stick your arm in front of that one. But he gets on base.
And Kisner, the two-run home run back in the fourth. Cardinals followed that up with an Arenado two-run homer in the fifth. Traffic for McHugh with one out. Nothing in two on Edman. Edman down on strikes. There is the breaking ball. 2 outs.
That's where he's vulnerable. He's vulnerable down with breaking spin that goes away from the plate, right? And gets him to swing it.
Two outs, runner at first base. Back to the top of the order, Lars Nootbaar. Fouls it away for strike one. Nootbaar made his big league debut last year with the Cardinals. He played in just under 60 games. He was all right. He was about a league average offensive player. Has been much better this year. His second go around has been tremendous defensively in right field, and has been so good against righties. He's been batting leadoff recently. Falls behind here, 0-2. Newbar lifts out to left field. Playable though for Robbie Grossman, who puts the squeeze on to retire the side. The hit batter goes no further. McHugh a scoreless 6th. World Series this fall. Enter to win MLB's Season of Dreams sweepstakes presented by Mattress Firm at MLB.com/Season of Dreams. Braves by a run as we go to the top of the 7th inning. One of the game's hardest throwers, Jordan Hicks, is up on the mound now for St. Louis.
Yeah, you better think down in the zone, and heavy sinking movement, which doesn't register a ton of strikeouts, but you better be ready to hit because it's 100 miles an hour with some movement. This guy, he loves anything that you throw at him.
Eddie Rosario pinch hitting for Heredia. Comes up empty on that low fastball.
He could see 3 and swing at 3. Eddie was so huge last year for this team, and the beach ball looked like a beach ball the last month of the season and in the postseason.
Left to center. O'Neill back on the warning track. A little extra carry to it, but it's out number 1 as we take you back to Los Angeles. Kevin Burkhardt for a game break. KB.
That is awesome. And you know what's even more awesome than that? He got beat up by the Dodgers in his last start. And so he comes right back in one of those back-to-back, you know, you kind of dread him as a starter. But man, this kid, I'm telling you, I know they're not going to probably get to the playoffs, but if the Marlins ever get any offense.
Kisner wore that one. You could hear it.
I mean, this kid, he's obviously going for the Cy Young this year, or in the conversation, along with some Dodgers pitchers. But what a bounce back game after you give up the most runs, you know, early on. I think he gave up 5 early against the Dodgers and got beat.
He alone has more complete games than any other team in baseball. It's amazing. Strike 3 called, triple-digit heat from Hicks.
Right down the middle. This has been an outstanding called game.
Adam Beck, our home plate umpire. Missing wide, ball 1 to Matt Olson. Olson has hit the ball hard 3 times tonight. Well, inside out, sounded like he broke the bat off the end. Easy play there for the game's best. Arenado fields it cleanly. Hicks a 1-2-3, top of the 7th as we stretch. Changes for Brian Snitker here. Here is Goldschmidt with 1 out and nobody on. OPSing over 1,200 this month. He takes off the plate for ball 1.
Everything he does right now looks locked in. Taking pitches, going the other way, hitting bullets, getting infield hits.
Takes a big hack at a fastball that caught a lot of the plate. Iglesias really has 3 swing and miss pitches.
Yeah. Good off speed. Good changeup. And arm angles that vary. And it was a really good move for the Braves to get before the trading deadline. And last year's bullpen rode them to a World Series championship. They got some guys hot. There's some pieces not hot, and one of them's not here anymore. So they've fortified their bullpen with some other guys.
Easy take. It's a full count. Now, less than a year ago, the Angels signed Iglesias to a 4-year, nearly $60 million free agent contract. Traded him this year at the deadline. The payoff. Swing and a miss. Now, one of the game's best hitters with a couple of those in that at bat. He's down swinging.
Great arm action. Looks like a fastball, comes out like a changeup. And the first time all night you'll see Goldschmidt off balance. That pitch just doesn't get there and fools one of the best.
Brings up Nolan Arenado. He is a triple shy of the cycle. Few words have been said more in baseball history than those. He cycled once this year. Strike 1 to Kenny.
So this is his first game back since becoming a father. His first cycle, 2017, was on Father's Day, and it ended in the most dramatic way possible, a 3-run homer to beat the Giants.
The single to complete the cycle isn't as much fun. The home run, a walk-off home run, that's how you do it.
Yeah. I bet you there hasn't been many of those walk-off home runs to complete a cycle. And do it in that fashion in your home park.
You don't see too many swings and misses like that from Arenado. Fastball had some movement to it. 1-2. There's only been one guy since 1900 to hit 2 cycles in 1 year. That was Christian Yelich back in 2018. Every time he plays the Reds, there's a 50-50 chance that Yelich is going to cycle.
I think one of those games they lost. And he was like, you know.
That's not so much fun, is it?
No. So that's the opposite of what Nolan Arenado got to do.
I feel like Carlos Gonzalez cycled with a walk-off grand slam for Colorado years ago. It's going back there a little bit. Fouls it away, still 2-2. Yeah, Arenado doubled in his first at bat. He singled in his second AB in a 2-run home run his last time up. Since the start of July, and we told you he's been one of the hottest hitters in baseball. Only Aaron Judge has had a higher OPS in baseball. You look where Paul Goldschmidt, his teammate, checks in 4th in the majors. Austin Riley making that list as well.
Tough call here if you're the Braves here on what pitch to call. He's been beaten on some fastballs. You think maybe a changeup here, but then that speeds up the bat. So it's literally a 50-50 call right here when you've been beating one of the best with a fastball.
The 2-2.
You go to the changeup.
He's fighting off some tough pitches, trying to get someone he can do something with.
I would think breaking ball off the plate, outer part of the plate. He's been real aggressive, expanding the zone on fastballs away. You can get him leaning out if you make a quality outer third breaking ball pitch right here.
Now, the slider has been the best swing and miss pitch for Iglesias, and that's saying something. Fastball, and it hits off the glove of Grissom over in the shift, and Arenado is aboard once again.
And see, that's the reason you got to. He was getting to fastballs away. I think anything breaking away would have got him to swing over the top of it. But he got good wood on a pitch off the plate and hit it hard enough to beat the shift, really, or the defense.
That's not a triple, but it is a 4-hit night for Arenado. Two outs, a man aboard for Corey Dickerson.
A lot of fastballs thrown to Corey Dickerson. We already mentioned it. 95 and above has been a kind of a struggle for him. But off speed down or anything down, he's been able to handle.
There's some heat middle away. This Braves bullpen has been so good this year and reinforced at the deadline. Another fastball. Braves bullpen ranking second in baseball in strikeout rate. One of the lowest ERAs of any relief corps in the majors. When we talked to Brian Snitker today and we said your team does everything so well, what is it that is most important to your success? He said pitching, which is, I suppose, the obvious answer. Oh, what a play. How about defense also? Olsen, one of the best over there at first base. The Gold Glove winner. His first year in Atlanta, his hometown, makes that look pretty easy. And the Braves lead it after 7. First pitch strike to Austin Riley to lead off the top of the 8th for the Braves. Picks back up on the mound after a 1-2-3 7th. Riley on the ground. Gorman. Oh, what a flip, and it's just off and out of the glove of Goldschmidt. Gorman trying to pull a rabbit out of the hat there. Almost a dynamite play. Instead, Riley is aboard.
Shifted over up the middle and he hits it off and gets jammed and hits it the other way. And trying to make the throw, knowing he had to be kind of in a hurry. Probably had just a little more time than he thought, but tough play nonetheless.
It's a 3-hit night for Austin Riley. Trails only Freddie Freeman for the most multi-hit games in baseball this year. Here's d'Arnaud. He homered back in the 4th inning, a 3-run home run. Back out to center, dropping in for a base hit. Multi-hit night for d'Arnaud. Riley to second. To Los Angeles, Kevin Burkhardt for a game break. All right, Kevin, thank you. Yeah, Braves trailing the Mets by 2 games in the East entering play tonight. You think about it from a Braves perspective. I mean, you can't have played any better than Atlanta has since the start of June. They've got the best record in baseball, and yet the Mets remain atop the division.
Yeah, they dug themselves a pretty big hole. I think at one point they're 11 games back. But it's a huge race now, because that is with the new playoff format, a big break for a team that secures the top 2 records and gets a bye. And if you think about how these two teams are constructed, that gives them a decided advantage to move on to the, possibly go to the World Series, because you got to face a team that had to throw 2 of their studs, and they got to come in and beat you, 3 out of 5. So there's a big difference now in the way the playoffs have been adjusted. And I love that fact, because you should be rewarded for having the best years. And I think a lot of last year with the San Francisco and LA scenario, 107, 106, whatever that was, you just got to have an advantage for playing your best baseball, and the Dodgers are going to be there with one of them, and either the Mets or the Braves.
Kisner needed a new glove, that's all. That was a little ego boost for you as a pitcher if you broke your catcher's glove.
Oh shoot, I never threw like this guy. 102-mile-an-hour sinkers.
Yeah, Kisner's got a whole bag of gloves back there just in case. Time call. Hicks has been kind of beat up a little bit his last 5 appearances. 4 walks, 6 hits, 7 runs. It was a tough road trip for Hicks. Strike 3 call. Some paint to Contreras. That's his 2nd strikeout.
Well, that's always been the key. The 2nd and 3rd pitches, they wanted to make this guy a starter. If he can get a slider over after a pitch is going the other way, so sinkers go into righties, sliders go away from righties, and that's just a tough combination for a hitter to pick up, because he's already thinking that ball might be coming back to him. A lot of contact because of his late movement. But that's the pitch, really, that's going to separate him to go to the next level.
He jams Grissom at 101, and it gets over to Goldschmidt quickly. A little bobble, but they get the out at first base. Runners advance, so Riley to 3rd, d'Arnaud to 2nd. Two outs, 2 on. Well, we welcome those of you who are watching the Twins and the Giants. Sorry for the rain delay, but we're glad to have you with us here in St. Louis. We've got a good one. Braves and the Cardinals 5-4 Atlanta. Aaron Goldsmith, John Smoltz, Ken Rosenthal. 2 outs, 2 on, top of the 8th. Cardinals and the Braves in the middle game of 3. 2 of the best teams in baseball right now, and it was a big 4th inning for Atlanta, John.
4th inning happened quick, all up the middle, all staying on the ball, and then that blow right there, 3-run homer. Braves tack on 1 more as Contreras and Harris get the 4th spot in that inning.
102 in the dirt.
This would make me nervous if I was, the way this kid throws and the shift for Harris. He hits one off the end of the bat or goes the other way. It's an easy run. And I know Arenado's going to try to get over there as much as he can to protect.
Foul. My God.
Harris is really an opposite version of Acuna in the way that he holds the bat over the plate, and you got to be pretty strong and disciplined to. He will expand the zone. I mean, it's natural. It's a young player. He's going to learn the league and how they're going to expose him. But watch how he holds that bat, just kind of still and vertical, and then he gets it back into hitting position. He won't miss it if it's middle in.
Triple digits in the dirt once again. It's 2-2. Now the Braves have won 10 straight road games. A win tonight and Atlanta would secure their 6th consecutive series win. They're trying to add on here in the 8th inning. 2 outs, 2 in scoring position for the rookie Michael Harris II. The 2-2. Same result.
I wonder if he'll have the guts here to throw that slider. You know, he's been trying to pound that sinker and it's been down.
Why does it take guts?
Well, it's 3-2 and your money pitch of what you're trying to get him to do is hit the ball on the ground.
Here comes the payoff. 101 elevated up out of the zone. That's a big time punch out. Jordan Hicks, a couple of scoreless innings. That baseball season is mayhem. And by Jersey Mike subs via sub above. Now the light shining bright inside Busch Stadium. Braves holding a 5-4 lead going to the bottom of the 8th inning. A.J. Minter is now up on the hill for Atlanta. Facing Tyler O'Neill. Just missing with 96.
Saw those walks to strikeout ratio. Incredible for a guy who throws as hard as he does. He's made a big adjustment over the last couple of years and command the baseball and breaking up that, using his changeup a little bit more.
High lift out to right field. Grossman started in left. He's now in right. He makes that catch easily for round number 1. Well, you know, he's working back-to-back nights, Minter is, and last night is something he wants to put behind him a little bit. I mean, what can you say, John?
It's an incredible pitch with a really tough landing is all I can say.
Well, in all seriousness, it's good to see that he was all right after that. Such a critical part of this Atlanta bullpen. He faces a pinch hitter here. Dylan Carlson grabs a bat. He hits for Nolan Gorman, the rookie.
And then more than likely, Albert Pujols.
There is number 5. Braves by a run, 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the 8th inning. A lot of swing and miss in the back of this Atlanta bullpen. Minter striking out just over a third of the batters that he's faced this year. A mighty hack. Nothing but error for Carlson. 1-1. First 29 games, a sub-1. His last 28, more to normal. Carlson has really hit lefties well this year. Dots him up at 96. Carlson saying, I don't think so, but the tracer showed that as a strike.
Bottom of the zone, and that ball just stays and carries. And of course the hitter's going to think that ball was down. It looked to him, of course, it was down, but you may see the replay after this at bat. And
the 1-2. Serves this into right field. A pinch hit, base hit. Dylan Carlson checks in. Tying run is aboard. And this place gets up on its feet for Albert Pujols. absolutely mashing lefties this year, batting nearly 400. 10 of his 14 home runs and an OPS out of this world. And everybody wants to say that they were here when Pujols hit 694. Chasing down 700, fifth most home runs all time. He's 3 shy from A-Rod. Line right to Swanson. Well, that ended quickly. It has been a tremendous story in baseball. Albert Pujols back in a Cardinals uniform. 5th most home runs all time. 693. He has homered off of 449 different pitchers. Tied Bonds for the most all time in that category, and since July 5th. He's been especially great. And he hit it hard, but to the wrong spot. He was batting for Kisner. 2 outs now.
Yeah, different role for obviously Albert Pujols. Coming off the bench, swinging at the first pitch he saw, and man, he lasered it to Swanson.
That was the hardest hit ball of the night. 109 off the bat. Down to Kenny.
Hey, it was in Atlanta in early July when Pujols told Cardinals coaches, "I think I found something." And you saw him in the home run derby, you saw him in the All-Star game, and Skip Schumacher, the bench coach, said maybe he did find something. It looks like his swing is back. Well, we all know what has happened. Pujols marching towards 700 homers, but what impresses the Cardinals the most, he wants to win really badly. Schumacher said it's almost like he smells blood.
Well, he's one of the all-time greats and so beloved here. He's got time to track down 700. Edman batting with 2 outs, the 0-1.
Yeah, that went from the beginning of the year an impossibility to might happen.
And Pujols 7 home runs this month. Second in baseball. Little lob to first base. Carlson a pinch hit single. Ryan Helsley warming up. I want to talk about flamethrowers. He's ready to go in the Cardinals bullpen. Grossman drifting towards the line in right field. He makes the catch. Now this Braves bullpen, McHugh, Iglesias, Mentor keeping the Cardinals off the board. Ryan Helsley back with the Cardinals. He and his wife Alex welcomed their first child recently. He takes them out here in the top of the 9th. Flamethrower for the Cardinals as the Braves lead it 5-4. He faces 8-9-1 for Atlanta. It starts off with Robbie Grossman. Play changes defensively for St. Louis. You can see Yadier Molina. He's off the bench behind home plate. Paul DeYoung now at shortstop. That moves Tommy Edman from short to second. Position he's very comfortable at. Gold Glover last year. They have the shift on for Grossman. Jammed him up and in at 101. And a routine soft fly ball to center field for O'Neill. Helsley retires, the first man that he sees.
Yeah, I mean, this is an incredible arm. And of course, you saw the numbers. Just high hands and just an arm swing where the ball jumps out of his hand. It's really impressive the way he throws to command the baseball the way he does. Normally you'll see guys bring their hands down a little bit more and separate them and then really use their body to generate velocity. This is pretty special.
Faces Rosario. He began the game on the bench, took over eventually for Guillermo Heredia.
He's swinging at the first pitch. Oh,
I mean,
didn't give him a chance.
103 in the dirt. Didn't even see it. Not the first time Helsley's hit 103. He has recorded some of the fastest pitches in baseball this year. But even for Helsley, 103 is saying something. Ball and a strike. Well, don't worry if you didn't win Big Papi's money this week, because Fox Bet Super 6 is giving you another free chance to win next week. Simply scan the QR code now, download the Super 6 app, and enter your picks in next week's MLB Super 6 Challenge for a free chance at $10,000. On the corner, 1-2. Just above the zone. Wow. Kenley Jansen, Braves closer, warming up in the Atlanta bullpen. Helsley's 2-2. Blows a 100-mile-an-hour fastball past Rosario for out number 2.
This is just by you.
I'll think about it from a Braves perspective. Since the end of the 6th inning, you haven't seen a fastball that's been slower than 100 miles an hour.
I mean, that's what the Cardinals have to do. If they're going to make a deep run, it's going to be because their bullpen is lights out from the 6th inning on.
102 fouled back. The Braves have won 19 of their last 25 against the Cardinals. It's been remarkable, including 10 of their last 11 here. 0-2. Atlanta trying to win their 11th consecutive game on the road. Helsley's 0-2. I don't know what's more impressive, the fact that Ryan Helsley has thrown at this point now about 160 pitches this year, registering at least 100 miles an hour, or the fact that that's only 4th most in baseball. Johan Duran of the Twins is lapping everybody. Swing and a miss. Some spin gets Swanson. Helsley out of the pen. 1-2-3. A couple of punch outs. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Cardinals will face Kenley Jansen with their final 3 outs. Trailing the Braves by a run, facing one of the game's best 9th inning specialists, Kenley Jansen, up on the mound for Atlanta.
Well, he's done a nice job kind of holding down the fort down there, but the one area that gives him fits, base runner at first, stolen base opportunities.
How about we look at his arsenal, John, thanks to StatCast powered by Google Cloud.
Well, everything moves. It's cutting, 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 and then he's got the occasional curveball slash slider that he throws to change it up.
It took a while to get used to Kenley in a Braves uniform, one-year deal. Signed as a free agent to come to Atlanta. Since he debuted back in 2010, only Craig Kimbrell has more saves than Kenley Jansen. Facing the top of the order here, Lars Nootbaar, the first to face him. At the knees for a strike. One skipper, Swanson handles that smoothly. Leadoff man sat down.
Wow, that ball was hit over 100 miles an hour. Right to Swanson, played up the middle. Perfectly placed.
Like he knew where it was going to be hit. Here's Donovan with one out. Donovan known for a great eye of the strike zone. Take strike one. After all these years, John, still the cutter.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing on how he creates such spin and illusion. It doesn't have to be 95 and above, and he's got that just unorthodox release point, that glove thrown way up into the air to give the hitter a tough way to pick up. Not to mention he's 6'5", 6", whatever he is. Huge, imposing figure.
Oh. Donovan ahead. Jansen will have to face Goldschmidt. He's on deck. If anybody reaches Arenado. Three and one.
Here you get a look at it. The glove goes straight up in the air. You don't see many pitchers try to pitch like that, but a former catcher, now converted, just top-notch closer, missing high, all three with those cutters.
Donovan takes. Oh, Jansen gets a call. That's a big swing. Instead of a one-out base runner, it's a full count.
Yeah, this one probably a little bit above the strike zone, but at least it wasn't the final decision strike. Still got a pitch to deal with if you're Donovan.
Now the payoff. Flash to the gap and right center field. Donovan touches down for extra bases. Flying to second. And the Cardinals have the tying run in scoring position in the ninth inning.
Well, this was a flat cutter right down the middle, and he takes advantage of it.
Better than a walk.
Yes, I guess you could say that.
Now facing Goldschmidt. Donovan, the tying run at second. Goldschmidt, one of the game's very best hitters. The winning run at the plate with one out in the bottom of the ninth inning. Up and in. Now Darno having to fix some equipment for a moment. Have a pitch count situation. He gets it figured out. Goldschmidt leading the majors in average. Tied for the league with 105 RBIs. Second most home runs. The last guy you want to face here. Kicks away. Donovan to third with ease.
Well, he spiked it. And the target was trying to get him to start that breaking ball up and break it straight down, but tough for Darno to block that pitch.
Infield draws in now. Tying run 90 feet away. 3-0. Doesn't get any easier. The 3-0. Jammed him. Fouled back 3-1.
It's the only thing you really could hope for in a 3-0 pitch is somehow you get the hitter to expand a little bit and pop it up. And he popped it up, but out of play.
Now the Braves bullpen has held it since the 5th. But now the lead in jeopardy in the 9th. Chance for MVP. He's aboard. Winning run takes first for Nolan Arenado. Arenado having himself a night. Triple shy of the cycle, a 4-hit night. He's 4 for 4, including a 2-run home run back in the 5th.
And again, Arenado's already shown he can go through that vacant hole at second base. The shift is on, and it's not out of the question that Goldie can steal second base.
Winning run at first. Takes a strike.
I mean, not to say that you can't take second base either, but I was talking about the MVP candidate, not the MVP in the booth.
That gets tense in the 9th inning, John. I don't know if you're aware of that or not. They throw over. It was Donovan's double, advancing to third on a wild pitch. That has him parked at third. Donovan the tying run. Goldschmidt the winning run. And one of the game's most locked in hitters at the plate, and Nolan Arenado. Took a good pass at it, but fouls it back 0-2.
Well, he got it in there, and Arenado knows. Now with 2 strikes. We've seen him battle with 2 strikes and a couple of bats. But if you're Kenley, you're thinking nothing but strikeout. The probability of getting a ground ball double play is so low based on the way the Braves are positioned. But you're thinking strikeout.
The 0-2. That was a good one to hit.
I know he spiked a breaking ball that talked about how he got to third base, but this would be the time to throw it. Got the fastball really center cut. You throw that breaking ball right off that height and have it drop down.
One out, 2 on. Another 0-2. It hit him, and they're loaded up. A wild pitch, a walk, and a hit batter.
Well, he's trying to get the ball in. He got it in, but catches that guard, and now Braves truly going to play for a double play if they can with the infield.
Rick Cranitz, pitching coach, out for a talk. He'll have to speak up. Boy, how do you keep an even heartbeat right now if you're Kenley Jansen?
Well, that's what he's known for. I mean, he really is never bothered and never has the emotion of anything other than I've got it in control. Even if he doesn't feel like it, you got to be on the mound displaying that.
The Mets game just went final versus the Rockies. Mets win tonight. Braves need to win to keep pace. They're 2 games back of the Mets in the East. Now, Dickerson not real home run power. He's been locked in though. He bats here with 1 out. The base is loaded. So now tying run at third and the winning run, Goldschmidt, you can see him there at second base. Jansen's first pitch. Big chopper, softly hit. This game is tied. Swanson has to eat it, and we're even at 5. Donovan scores. Dickerson puts it in play, and we are right back where we started.
Well, the Cardinals as a team do a great job of putting the ball in play. And right here, he put it in play. Won't register as a rocket or exit velocity. But boy, was it a big contact play to tie the game. And now the Cardinals are poised to walk it off. If they can get Tyler to O'Neill to hit a fly ball.
The baton is passed to Tyler O'Neill. One out, a winning run at third, bottom of the ninth inning. Oh, what a stop by Arnaud. He just saw the game flash before his eyes.
I think Rosario's way too deep. The outfielders are going to play based on their arm strength, and he's going to have to come in. Anything hit to him right there, a runner easily can score.
Had to spin away, 2-0. The winning run.
Oh, no.
3 balls and no strikes. Another bad one here, and the Cardinals win it. The 3-0 pitch. Line foul ball. Swinging 3-0 and feet shy of a game winner.
Yeah, you might be a little surprised he had the green light there on 3-0, but it was a good pitch to hit. He smoked it, but foul. You just hope that the hitter doesn't swing at ball 4, and he didn't there.
A ninth inning come from behind walk-off win for the Cardinals on a Kenley Jansen bases loaded walk, and the Cardinals win it 6-5. Tyler O'Neill's third walk tonight wins it for the Redbirds.
Great rally here by the Cardinals, down 4-0. They win the game 6-5 on an unusual way. But this inning started with a 3-1 pitch that might have been a ball 4, turned into a double. And the inning turned into a magical one for the Cardinals.
Let's take you down to the field to Kenny.
Nolan, that ninth inning was wild against Jansen. Donovan with the double to lead it off, a walk, a wild pitch. You get hit by a pitch. In your mind, what was the key to the inning?
Well, we were just laying off tough pitches. You know, Jansen's always had a great cutter, and he throws it at the top of the zone. But he also, you know, he flirts with like it being a ball and a strike, and if you can lay off the ball, you know, then you got to get him down in the zone. But he's a really tough pitcher. You know, he had me 0-2, and he just missed off in. But it was just great at bats by all of us. I mean, he gets a really good pitcher.
You've had an eventful few days. Your wife Laura gives birth to your first child, Levi, a daughter, on Thursday. Then tonight, 4 for 4 with a hit by pitch. So you're perfect with your daughter born now. What has it been like for you these last few days?
Well, it's been tough. Not a lot of sleep, but you know, honestly, Thursday at 3 o'clock when she was born was probably the best day of my life, and I'm just happy that my baby's healthy and my wife's healthy. Everyone's good at home, and I'm so fortunate. I have a lot of help, and thank God I've been blessed with good people around me. So it's been nice. It's been a good few days.
So tell me, is dad's strength a thing?
I don't know. I was talking to Travis Darno about it. I'm like, I need that strength to go oppo. I can't go oppo, but I don't know. That homer was pretty sweet, so I'll take it.
Nolan, thanks very much. Congratulations. Back to you, Aaron.
Yeah, he is a pull home run specialist, Nolan Arenado. Batted 1,000 as a dad. And the Cardinals win this one. They snap the Braves' 10-game road winning streak. 6-5 the final score. Well, for the Hall of Famer John Smoltz, for Ken Rosenthal, I'm Aaron Goldsmith. We had a good one today in St. Louis. So glad you could be with us. Coming up next, we'll send it back to the studio in Los Angeles. Kevin Burkhardt for more post-game coverage right after these messages.